I'm here wearing all black because I'm here to bury this Jamaican today. Because by the time he's long gone, my eyes may be closed.
Felicia Williams was generous, smart, advanced for her age, and she could befriend anyone and hold a conversation like she'd known them her entire life. Felicia was the second youngest of 6 girls. Her nickname was Sugar Plum because she had a sweet personality and her face was round. Felicia loved playing outside, cheerleading, and watching TV. Unfortunately, events would take place on May 16th, 2014 that would change the lives of Felicia, Felicia's family, and Felicia friends forever.
Defendant Granville Ritchie is hereby sentenced to death.
It had been more than 6 years since Granville Ritchie raped and murdered 9-year-old Felicia Williams. And as the little girl's mother told the court,
I've waited 2,310 days for this day to come.
Felicia's relatives took the stand, clutching the little girl's picture, wiping away tears as they strained to put their ongoing grief into words.
I just miss my grandbaby.
And the way he described her like she was nothing to us. Like she didn't mean absolutely nothing.
Her mother described Felicia, Sugar Plum, as she called the little girl, as her world. She showed the court a blanket with her daughter's image that she still wraps herself in for comfort.
I wake up, I'm thinking about her. I lay down, I'm thinking about her.
Prosecutors said Ritchie raped and murdered Felicia when his girlfriend, who'd been looking after the little girl, went out to buy drugs, leaving the two alone. They said he'd put Felicia's body in a suitcase before dumping her in the bay. Felicia's father told Ritchie he'd forgiven him, but wanted to hear an apology.
You took something from me you can't give back. I don't want no revenge. I gave it to my God.
The judge gave Ritchie an opportunity to apologize or say anything on his own behalf, but he declined. With that, she reviewed the facts of the case.
A horrendous, physically painful, and psychologically torturous death at the hands of the defendant.
At times, pausing to wipe away tears of her own before passing sentence.
You will remain incarcerated until the date of your death is scheduled to occur. May God have mercy on your soul, Mr. Ritchie.
Judge Michelle Cisco told Felicia's mother that she was a better, stronger woman than herself, and that she admired the bravery and what she called tireless advocacy for her daughter.
All right, you guys, I reviewed that case because we're here because now Ritchie is requesting for his death sentence to be commuted to a life sentence. This is the same man that showed lack of remorse and did not give Felicia's father an apology in open court. Well, to give you guys some background, you have Wally, which is Felicia's godmother. Wally, on May 16th, went to Felicia's home to get her. Felicia was being watched by her older sister, and her older sister relayed that Felicia could not go because she would have to get permission from their mother. At the time, Felicia called her mother at the hair shop, and her mother granted the permission for her to go. However, her mother was under the impression that they would be at Wally's home. Wally then made the decision to take Felicia to Ritchie's mother's house, where they took Molly and had sex. After they were done, that's when Ritchie requested marijuana. Wally was gonna sit there with Felicia. However, Ritchie asked Wally to go purchase the marijuana. When Wally was getting ready to leave, she was going to take Felicia with her. However, Ritchie stated, your license are suspended and you're going to buy drugs. If you get stopped by the police, they're going to take Felicia. She then agreed for Felicia to stay with Ritchie. Upon Wally returning, Wally was looking for Felicia. Ritchie then stated that he gave her money to go to the store to get candy and she should be back. Felicia waited over 5 hours before reporting Felicia missing. Let's go ahead and get into some of her court clippings.
Wiley says she left Williams alone with Ritchie, even though she'd only met him a few days earlier, because he made her feel comfortable. She says she left a little girl at Ritchie's apartment to go buy pot. When she came back, Wiley says she found Ritchie shirtless, claiming Felicia had gone on her own to a nearby drugstore for candy. The two then put together a lie, saying Wiley and Ritchie's mother were in the apartment, not him, and that the little girl wandered off while Wiley was in the shower.
Why did he tell you to let them know that there was a woman in the house?
Because I won't be viewed as a godmother, that I left her with him and he was unresponsible in letting her go to the store.
In her disturbing testimony, Wiley also admitted she had taken drugs and had sex with Ritchie the night Felicia disappeared. The next day, when Felicia still had not come home, she says she confronted him, asking him if he had anything to do with it.
First, I was like, my godchild, if she ain't come home, she ain't show up or nothing. And then I asked, I said, you ain't do nothing. So he said, no, ma, no. I said, no, I have to ask. He said, no, I ain't do nothing. I said, oh, okay. I said, but she's not showing up. I don't know where she at.
Wiley faces charges of her own for lying to police. If Ritchie is convicted, prosecutors plan to seek the death penalty.
At Ebony Wiley's sentencing, no face covering could hide the disdain Felicia's grandmother harbored for Wiley.
Thought y'all murdered my baby. You didn't call 911. Why didn't you call 911 when my baby was missing?
In October, Wiley pled guilty to lying to police during the murder investigation of the 9-year-old. Felicia was in the care of Wiley when she was raped and murdered by Granville Ritchie, a man Wiley barely knew. In September of 2019, Ritchie was convicted and now sits on death row. But Felicia's family blames Wiley for leaving Felicia alone with Ritchie while she went out to buy drugs. During Ritchie's trial, she admitted she lied a lot.
So that's your second story, basically, right?
Yes, I told a lot of stories.
Told a lot of stories?
Yeah, I lied. Right. I can admit that. Yes, I did lie.
Now, all these years later, Felicia's mother tells the judge she feels just as broken as the first day her daughter was murdered.
Losing a child, one of the most unimaginable and painful things that a parent could ever experience.
And so does Felicia's older sister, who didn't hide it.
What monster would just take a child? What kind of monster you gotta be? Because we don't have her no more. We don't have that. We don't have that opportunity to see her grow. Like, she would have been 16. What could we, what?
Before she was sentenced, Wiley, who is now a new mother herself, choked up as she finally said she was sorry.
I apologize for the pain and suffering and the loss.
For Felicia's family, an empty apology 6 years too late. Felicia Williams was only 9 years old when prosecutors say she was betrayed by family friend Ebony Wiley, who left her alone and in the care, they say, of a monster, Granville Ritchie, a complete stranger who molested Felicia and then strangled her to death. Wiley, hoping to protect herself, helped with the cover-up.
Yeah, I lied. Right. I can admit that. Yes, I did lie.
In 2019, Ritchie was convicted of child rape and murder. For Felicia's mother, the pain and anguish never goes away.
Losing a child, one of the most unimaginable and painful things that a parent could ever experience.
In September of 2020, Ritchie was sentenced to death by a jury. Now he's hoping to save his own life and demanding a do-over of his sentence. The state Supreme Court already rejected his request, but in his latest appeal in state court, he's asking for police records from multiple agencies. Prosecutors call it a fishing expedition, and the judge wants to make sure it doesn't turn into that.
I'm not interested in just full-scale fishing expeditions, but for more targeted requests that could potentially lead to a colorable claim, then obviously I would find the defendant is entitled to it.
During a virtual hearing today, the court got an update on what documents and evidence have been turned over and what still needs to be. That led to a quick ruling.
Am going to grant the defendant's demand for additional public records in part solely as it relates to any records of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office by their Child Protective Services.
If Ritchie finds any legal mistakes in any of those records, it could give him the proof he needs to fight his death sentence.
As long as I know he's in that box for the rest of his life, that's all I care about. Because my daughter is up under all that dirt in a box for the rest of her life.
Hello, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Karen Classified. I hope you guys comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also hope that you leave your comments down within the section below. Here we have a case in regards to Felicia Williams, a 9-year-old who lost her life at the hands of a predator. And that's what I call him. From the moment Wiley picked her up from her home, in my opinion, he was praying and plotting on how he was going to get his hands on that little girl. My hearts go out to her family, her mother, and her father. And I'm just going to put it out there. They're bigger and better than I could ever be. Because I'm not sure if I could be as composed, as well put together. And to know that Wiley only received 6 months. And now she's a mother herself. And she's supposed to have been the godmother, and she never reached out until they went to court to apologize. I just don't know if I would have been able to keep it together. You guys, what are your opinions about this entire situation? There are more events that took place. I'm going to try to link the docket inside of the description box so you guys can read through it. It's so disturbing. Like, I teared up, and I honestly did not read all the way through it. I stopped because it was just way too graphic and way too much for me to be able to deal with. But if you guys want to read through it, feel free to read through it. If you, at some point with one of these cases, if you guys would like to go live so we can have an open discussion in regards to it, I am so open to that. Leave like a hand heart or a heart down in the comment section, and I'll try to find a date or a day where we could go live to have an open discussion about a case. I don't know which one you guys want to have an open discussion about, but I'm open to it, so we could just kind of bounce ideas off of one another, talk to one another about each case. I'm also still in the process of trying to think of a way to just show my gratitude to you all for supporting the channel. I definitely appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And that just comes from the bottom of my heart, just even in terms of just trying to get more relaxed and more open to just kind of on this platform speaking. You know, I think I'm there. I'm not all the way there, but I'm at least at 30%. Again, you guys, what are your thoughts with this entire situation of this beautiful 9-year-old girl who lost her life at the hands of a predator and at the negligence of a godmother, someone who's supposed to love and protect you as if you're their own child? I don't know. Please leave your comments down within the section below. Until the next video, you guys, stay safe and take care.